Oh, this might be the first episode we fight on. This will be good.
Santa Brawl 2021.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Santa gets down and dirty.
Anytime now. Yeah.
Everybody's
We're all looking at you. Don't worry
Killing
about it.
us.
Welcome
This is-
to...
Oh, that's right. That's where I am. Yeah. Welcome to Bay Floor Discussions with Brian Cole, John Morrison, Ed Pennell, Eric Field, a couple special guests, and even one in the audience.
Oh, we've introduced Dalton before, though.
Yeah.
He's fine. They know better. He doesn't have a microphone today, though. For those of you now watching on our 2 cameras, yeah, give him a little wave. All right,
Yeah.
we have our...
Yeah, we got 2 special guests, so I will let them introduce themselves and tell us a little bit.
Oh, brains over beauty first? Okay, that's fine. I'm Josette Deschambeault.
I've never been called the beauties.
I've never met this man before in my life. I don't know why he's sitting next to me. It's kind of terrifying. He drove right in front of me the entire way. Awful. What have I done? I started volunteering with Skyway, Alaska's fire department 5 years ago. We did search and rescue, fire, and EMS. I think we had maybe 2 fire calls every single year, and everything else was EMS coming off of the cruise ships that would come into port. So that was super fun. Took a year and a half off when I was living outside Denver, but kind of came back here for winters for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Somehow got onto Freiburg Fire. God bless them. They let a woman in. Terrifying. And now I hang out a little bit on Freiburg Rescue. Got to actually make that official. Whoops. Sorry, Chief. Yeah.
Progress.
Here to stay now. Terrifying.
It's a great start. We're off to a good start. I'm excited for this one.
That's fantastic. I love it.
Who are you? What are you doing? Why are you here?
I'm here because someone told me to be here.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Ask
Your secretary
politely.
took care of that.
You guys asked, she told.
Oh, gotcha. All right.
So if you have anyone listening hasn't guessed, I'm Rob Deschambeault. I'm her dad. I'm a lieutenant over in Freiburg, also the training officer, also a member of Freiburg Rescue here. Previously was a captain in Chaffee County, Colorado, firefighter in Glen Echo Fire before or outside of Bethesda, and Tacoma Park. Those were live-in volunteers way back when. Started this whole mess in EMS actually when I was 16 and just kept going.
So how many years you have now?
More than 30. Hate to say that.
We're edging closer to
40.
40 there, Father. But good try.
So-
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So you guys actually bring some experience from outside the state, which we haven't pulled a lot of, so that's good.
That's literally all I know how to talk about. Don't worry.
Outside the state?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
It's actually pretty exciting if you think about it.
Yeah.
You know?
So we're excited for this one anyways, because every episode we ask for outside input. And again, for those of you that can now see on our cameras, I don't know which one has a better angle, but we actually have notes. More serious than we've ever been ever. So we're excited and scared about that. Also, if you hear any nice crinkling, that's what we're doing. We're finding out where we are in this conversation and going from there. But we'll start off, seeing as we're actually coming into some winter weather in the winter. Well, I don't, is it officially winter yet?
Winter
No,
weather
not yet.
in winter.
Not yet.
21st?
The 21st.
21st.
Yeah. Until then, we've had a phenomenal spring this fall. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Phone. Just, I forget to silent mine. Just because
and probably off the table, so
Yeah.
because if it
They
vibrates
pick,
on the
Oh,
table.
valid.
they pick up, these microphones pick up everything. So yeah, wintertime. Do a little ice safety warning, PSA. What do you got?
What do I got? You're the one that normally does it.
Yeah?
We have
I'm-
that. We have that chart that you showed.
Yeah, where is that chart? I gotta find that chart. I'll send it to you so you can hook it into the video.
We'll see.
I think a T-Rex you have to have over, 8 inches of ice?
I'm not even gonna guess.
But, yeah,
Just know 2's not enough.
that's right.
for anything.
Yeah,
Eric remembers that from last year, that 2 is never enough for anything. Crinkle some paper. So yeah, use your head. Be safe. Think about it. Check as you go. There's not really a lot of ice out right now to be on, but there are
And
people
that's
out on
going
it.
to be deceiving when you see the snow on top of it.
Correct.
So we have the snow coming in. Just because there's 3 feet of snow on top of it doesn't mean there's 3 feet of ice below it. So,
Right now,
Definitely
it's
has not been
careful.
cold enough. The ground's not even froze yet.
right.
So it was last year, just about this time. What was it? Episode 3 or something like that, when we had the first snow and things went.
Yeah, I don't
went,
know. We didn't get much for snow last year. But it was this time when Eric started joining us and we had a bunch of calls and we ended up leaving religiously in every
Yeah, I
episode
think we
about
had 3
halfway
or-
through.
yeah.
Oh,
So,
every podcast we did was a
right.
snowstorm.
yep,
Yep.
that was
It's
fun.
crazy. So
So maybe we'll get back on that.
yeah, you never know. You
Hey,
never
the
know.
forecast gets you right back on track. We're just a little early.
Yep.
Not wrong.
So
Don't
there-
forget to put your snow tires on.
Yeah, change over your snow
Careful.
tires, bub.
Yep. Time for them studded snows. You can go anywhere.
Yeah.
Wicked fast.
Wicked fast. Don't even slow down, guy. Just fucking go right around them.
Just send it.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
Well, now that we've gotten that out of the way. All right.
Oh boy.
So we just want to follow this right in order. Did you do this?
Or whatever you want to do.
Oh, so
I just went
I just
for it.
wanted to touch on one
Okay.
thing. Last episode we were talking about fatal fires.
Yes.
And I think I estimated at 10 to 12 for the last episode. As of December 5th, the state is at 27 fatalities in fires this year, which is a lot. So
Way up.
my numbers were way off. I would much rather have them around the 10. I'd really like to have them around 0, but 27 is a lot for our state. So I just wanted to correct my numbers on that last one. So, but yeah, let's jump into it.
All right. So the first thing we have is how much we've talked about getting the community involved and interacting with the fire departments, and how we can actually go about changing that. So making moves to increase interaction with the town and getting them into the department, whether it be to just see the equipment, see what we do, or to get them to join.
Or both.
Or both, yeah. Ideally. So, I mean, what's funny is in Oxford County, we've seemed to be recruiting a lot more people on calls. Like, somebody gets in a car accident and we're there and helping them out, and typically we sit on the side of the road and wait for a wrecker or whatever, and they go, well, you know, how did you guys get here? And we got time to kill.
In a
So-
vehicle. In a vehicle.
Right. So, you know, we actually have that conversation with them, like, hey, we'll stop by if you're in the area, because it's weird how often they crash in their own town. And, you know, they stop by, check things out, and give it a go. Not going to say it's always 100%, you know, they don't stick around for a super long time. But I think that's an issue no matter how you recruit people. They come in, they find out, wow, this is like an actual time commitment, and I can't do this. But gets people to have a better appreciation of what we do, and if it does work out, then even better. So that's something, just have a conversation with people you already interact with.
What kind of retention you guys get from that? 1 out of 3?
I'd say 2 out of 5.
That's not bad.
Yep. And there's a mix of, yeah, I mean, there's been a mix of other issues as well that has knocked people out. And, you know, it seems like I said, a lot of people show up and think, I'm just going to throw a jacket on
Right.
and do it all. And then they realize, you know, 1, I can't do anything without training. 2, training takes time. 3, I don't want to do it. So about the 3rd time they get called at 2 o'clock in the morning, or their significant other hears that that pager go off at an inconvenient time, they kind of ghost us a little bit. They're like, hey, so I'm not going to be making as many calls. And then next thing you know, they don't pick up the phone when you call them and say, hey, where you been? We haven't seen you at training in a little while. Just want to make sure you're alive. Next thing you know, their gear's on the front porch or right out front of the door. So, But like I said, I think it's been good not only for the people that we've kept, and some of the people we've kept are phenomenal, but the people that we don't keep have a newfound understanding and appreciation for what we do. You know, I have seen them at town meetings, and they come to bat for us because they will basically say that to the selectmen and the townspeople, like, if you don't appreciate what they do, go hang out with them for a little bit and figure out what they do, because you don't give them what they need for it. So there's a lot involved.
How do you guys do on your side?
Well,
You guys are primarily volunteer, right? Or call?
Yeah, we're paid on call,
Yeah.
but basically volunteers for, we just happen to get paid once in a while when we go to a call or training.
Yeah.
We're having a hard time with that same issue, but guess what? Everywhere I've been has that same problem. Right now, we're kind of in a resurgence of people that had been on the department and left, 5-10 years ago. They're coming back. And it's nice. They're coming back in different capacities. I have one guy who came back. He wants to drive.
Yeah.
He's got his CDL. He's actually a really good driver. He's a great driver.
Yeah.
He decided for himself he wants to get back in better shape. Once he does, then he'll go back for some interior qualifications.
Nice.
But it comes out. We get a call. He shows up. We have a driver. He has no problem taking the
consistent
tanker.
driver.
Consistent,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has no problem taking the tanker out. I
Nice.
didn't say tender this time.
Fair enough.
That's part of the problem
Yeah.
of jumping around the country.
Uh-huh. That's a West Coast thing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Ask for a tanker out there and watch what happens.
You get really wet.
Yeah. You have a really big bill at the end.
Ask for a tender here, you get a different type of bird with barbecue sauce.
So true.
So, Chief, what has been your experience as far as taking in new people? I guess, how much do you commit to them before kind of figuring out where they fall? Because you can't just take someone off the street and say, hey, sit here and learn. They do have to participate a little bit. It's
Yeah.
like the more they participate, the more they learn, the more
Well,
responsibilities
for
they
us,
get.
when
and
we
back and
when
forth.
we interview people, we kind of get an idea of what they want.
Yeah.
What are they looking for? Something that's it's not exclusive to Maine, but it's interesting when you deal with other instructors of SCBA and non-SCBA or drivers. That concept to some agencies in other states is just foreign.
Yeah.
If you're a firefighter, you're a firefighter, and you're expected to perform all those functions. So, but it's you have a discussion, you have an interview, see what they're looking to get out of it, and then we can tailor that to what they're doing or what they want. Certainly, I would love everybody to be able to get their Fire 2 and EMS license, but not everybody has that much time. I mean, if you tally up hours for a Fire 2 and a basic EMT, you're probably between 400 and 500 hours of training.
Initial training.
Yeah, I mean,
Never mind
that's-
research.
Right. So that's
Right. And then you're looking at gear, and you're looking at
yeah. I mean, it costs us about $4,000 to outfit somebody with turnout gear and all the equipment. So that's the cost of doing business.
Right.
So, but it's you just have to sit down with that person who's coming in the door and see what their end goal is,
Yep.
because we can tailor pretty much.
But I think my biggest issue has been, like I said, people come through the door and they're really gung-ho about it. They love the idea of running into a fire and working and doing the hero stuff they see on TV.
Right.
And then they realize, no, you got to be certified. You got to follow the rules. You got to follow, your command system. And there's smaller towns have the politics involved, and there's a lot of playing nice to get to that end goal. And then at the end of the year, how many actual structure fires do we get?
Right.
And that's
Well,
another
that's-
big problem that people have is
You know,
that
we-
they think a firefighter fights fires.
And that's on us. We have to educate them.
that's true.
You know, we, excuse me, we have to be honest with them. Yes, we're Casco Fire Rescue. About 80% of our stuff is EMS.
Right.
See, but there's the
And-
thing. If people knew that more, I think you'd be getting a lot, maybe a different demographic coming in. Because, I mean, for me at first, I obviously know what firefighters do. I grew up with one.
Right.
But I never really thought about, oh, this is something that I could get into until I started seeing, oh, they go to car wrecks. Oh, they're going to EMS calls. Oh, they're going to SAR calls. That's when and that's what got me in with Alaska is they started doing, oh, we need search and rescue people. You're a guide. You hike these things all the time. Can you come out if we have a call? Absolutely. And then I
Right.
slowly got into it going, oh, I can still go to a car wreck. And even though I can't use the jaws or whatever else, I can stand over here. I can be helpful. I can hold this. I can,
Yeah.
X, Y, Z.
Yep.
I think it's intimidating to a lot of people, and honestly, a lot of people coming up from the city who only see like, oh, here's the fire department. They drive the big trucks, blah, 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 blah. They don't realize that you're doing everything out here in a more rural area.
Yeah.
So if they get more of that education of, oh, yeah, this is something that I don't have to have the qualifications right away, but I can show up and I can start getting involved with, oh, they have a rescue and they need somebody just to hike a Stokes litter wheel up.
Right.
Great.
Yeah,
I can do that.
Right.
And the rest of us will love them forever because I don't ever want to do it again. But just little things like
Yeah.
that. So that's,
Yeah.
it's funky for me coming from, again, a very rural area in Alaska where I started off, where you had the three different, you had EMS, you had fire, you had SAR. You could get involved in just one of those three. And then eventually, if you were there long enough, you probably bled over into one of the other, programs, so to
Right.
speak.
Yeah.
I know at least for us in Freiburg, we obviously have Freiburg Fire and then we have Freiburg Rescue. So we'll overlap sometimes too.
And you
where-
guys are two separate agencies.
Yeah,
Yes,
those are
right.
two separate.
Completely.
And we were that way until 2010, 2011-ish, where we merged both departments into one. So, but that again is something that people don't always get.
Right.
There's a lot of politics up in Freiburg in regards to that, because Freiburg Rescue serves 5 communities with 5 different fire departments.
Right?
So there's just a complete different dynamic there.
Yeah.
Right. But to get back to bringing people in,
Yeah.
there we go,
Nice.
is that, oh, I really
We're gonna
try.
have
I
her
gotta
come
rein.
back. I think we'll have her back for some more.
The last 5 years of my life have literally just been reining in men who want to go running off in different directions. And women,
That's
to be fair.
Same
to
thing
be
as
fair.
Eric.
Are you
Reining
talking?
in men.
Are you talking about the fire service or what?
Fire service, guiding, everyday life, cruise ships. My God, you want to talk about reining people in? Talk about cruise ships.
Hurting cats.
Hurting cats that are drowning, but that's okay.
They're drunk
Getting
cats and they're on fire.
Boardwalks
awesome.
are terrifying things. Let me
It's
tell
not even
ya.
a cat. That's a squirrel.
Where'd they go? I have no idea. But showing people, right, so what's the difference now? But what's the difference in what you guys do now versus 10 years ago? People who moved up to the area maybe 10, 15 years ago could still think, oh, you're just the fire department. You're not going to show up with the ambulance anymore. If you
Right.
do, then they're like, oh, maybe they're just ambulance. They don't really understand what it means to be both of those. So for people who are looking to volunteer or something like that or really get into it, explaining kind of, this area still confuses the crap out of me, to be honest, with the, oh, we're paid on call and we're fully staffed and we don't really know what we are. We're just kind of throwing people into the ring. If you show up, you show up. Woohoo! But kind of, laying that out a little bit better and
Don't
saying,
put people on your roster just to have people on your roster.
what a concept.
I know towns that do that.
But
That was a whole episode.
That
so
was
yeah.
it was.
That
Can't
was
confirm.
one of the ones that we upset a lot of people.
Yeah.
We would never.
We actually upset a department, got
Intentionally.
mad at us, and we weren't even talking about that department.
You
I
don't
was
have
just
to
like-
talk about a specific
When your
department.
ears
just-
start
yeah.
burning.
I was like, if the shoe fits, I mean,
Right.
what?
Yeah.
Like, look,
That's actually
Dick,
something
I
we
wasn't
did. We
even
took a
talking
bunch of
about you.
people off the rolls this last
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. Ooh, sweet treats.
right?
We do it every year for BLS. Like, oh no, well, these are gone. Those guys are gone. We haven't seen them in a long time.
January and February. Do roster arrays.
Yeah.
John just realized he needs to put a cookie in his mouth before he says something that he's going to regret.
Distract my.
But
So when is Freiburg
my
Fire
goodness.
and Freiburg Rescue merging?
Wow, he's really trying to get me
boy.
sunk.
Well, it's nice knowing you all. We're both going to
fine.
be dead between now and 24 hours from now.
Probably long after I'm gone.
And me.
Oh boy.
so, kind of to what you were saying though, it always amazes me to go on an EMS call and have someone ask, "Well, where did you guys come from?"
Right.
Like you don't realize your own town has
Right.
an ambulance.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what, like you said, it's kind of our responsibility to teach them. I don't really know, short of stapling posters to telephone poles, how it works. But
I will
you
say.
know, everybody I talk to, whenever they hear I'm on a fire department, they're like, that's all they know. You go running into burning buildings. Like, no, if you can hold a stop slow paddle, I'll take you.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, that's
As
our-
long as you've had
the proper training.
proper training.
I was going to say, you even got to be trained to do that.
Right.
I mean, we can't
Well,
let
that's
you out
the
on the
thing.
street.
I
But
mean,
drivers,
that's-
you get a CDL driver, you know, I'm not, like you said you have your member, you know, I'm not in shape, I'm not fit enough to be a firefighter. Man, if you can drive a truck, I would
Right.
love to have you here.
That's right. You're valuable.
Right.
We could use almost anybody in some form or fashion. And that's kind of like you said, different places. To me, in Maine, that's more unique. Or
Yeah.
back east.
Yep.
You know, out west, at least it was a county department. But when you came in the door, we trained you, and you went through Fire 1, Fire 2. You were a firefighter. Yeah, I mean, we went through tons of vehicle wrecks. People, for some reason, can't drive in mountains and snow.
Weird about that, huh?
Yeah.
Crazy concept.
Studded
Wait
snows,
till
dude.
tonight.
That is no
You gotta
love.
have your snows.
I know. I'd hate to
Studs.
be working tonight.
And it's
Well,
full
drop
moon.
that into four-wheel drive, bub. We'll get there. Yeah. So you just have all four locked up when you're sliding.
I was going to say, four-wheel stop.
Right. Slicker than snowed outside, dude.
Right? Jeez, Bob.
They put their snow tires on, get their coffee and coffee brandy, and then they just go out.
We were just talking about that this morning.
Is that a problem? Are you not supposed to do that?
No.
As long as you got your blinky light on, it's fine.
As long as you're a plow truck driver.
That's par for the course, isn't it?
Right.
Oh,
Sorry to any plow truck drivers out there.
We do love you.
apologize.
Please stick around.
Right, right. Isn't that one of those things you can't retire from? You're always a plow truck driver.
right.
All right, so back on topic.
So, Dad, what you were talking about, though, with, you showed up to Chaffee County Fire and they immediately put you through Fire 1, Fire 2 training.
It wasn't an option, right? Like you didn't walk in and go, "Well, I'd like to run a stop slow paddle." That doesn't work like that. You'll be
Our
trained
first
for
chief
that,
out
but-
there was kind of more like that. Our second chief came in, and he was adamant about training.
Yeah.
Our first chief, actually, the first chief when I came in, it was, oh, okay, you want to join? Great, come here, come on, fill out the paperwork. And then when I handed him a packet of my certs, he looks at me and goes, oh, you've done this before.
Once or twice.
Yeah. And she said, okay, well, we don't have to do this. This is basically the board kind of found out about some of that and said, this is not the way we want our departments to operate.
Yeah.
We got a new chief, and he was all about training, which was great. Even though I had Fire 1 and 2, came in with the certs, he's like, you know what? Let's go through it so we're all on the same page. Okay, I'll go back through it. It's kind of fun, actually.
Yeah.
So redid my Fire 1, Fire 2 out there. I left, and then they started getting more into the instructors. We had a Colorado State education that used to come up into the mountains, up into Keystone every year. And he was all about, officers. I want you to go for officer development there. Firefighters, if there's a track you want to take, let's sign up for it.
Nice.
He expected, when I made lieutenant there, it was expected. You will start going into officer development.
Right.
You will be able to run a scene because you'll have to.
Right.
And we followed ICS out there, so yeah, we had a command, we had ops, and if even at car accidents, we just ran that system.
Yeah.
So the officers learned pretty quick, and it was a great way of bringing everyone in for training. Everyone got on the same page.
Yeah.
It also allowed, I know this is a top, Eric loves this topic, but it also allowed the firefighters to continue,
Yeah.
Everything was pro-boarded. You wanted a career, you advanced in the career as much as you wanted.
Yeah. Yeah. As much as you were willing to put in, you could get out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So was that structured by the department or by the individual? So like would the department say you're going to take class A, then B, then C, then D, or was it you pick whatever trainings you're going to do in your time frame and we'll kind of guide you?
Except for Fire 1, you come in the door, you're going to get Fire 1.
Yep.
Anything else above that
Was
you
on
wanted to do was up to you, but it was heavily encouraged.
That's good.
So it was great. I mean, someone like me, I love training. As you guys most of you guys know, if there's training out there, I'm going to try and find it and go to it.
Well, I mean, actually, I think with the exception of Josette, everybody here is an instructor, and yeah, we like to train.
I hadn't caught on to that yet.
That's all right. We'll have another one coming up. So
Keep listening,
we'll
you'll
get you
figure it out.
Oh, I'm sure.
She'll be in the next class.
yes, you will.
Whether I want to or not.
Exactly.
yeah,
See?
she'll have her Fire 1 and 2 over this next year, and then
Good.
then
Whether
we'll
I
put her
want
in
to or
instructor
not.
Yeah,
1
so
and
that's
2.
what I was going to say. Like, you guys are hosting a bridge course in the spring, right?
Yes.
So from BLS to Fire 1 and 2?
Yes,
That's
that
the plan.
plan?
Yeah.
that is the
So-
plan.
What's and it's tough when you don't have a lot of people coming in the door, but how do you do we start planning for a Fire 1 like over next winter for 2022? How do we keep the momentum of actually getting the Fire 1 and Fire 2 stuff? How do we keep that moving?
I know this might not be popular around here, but I'd rather teach a Fire 1 class than a BLS class.
Oh, we've had that conversation
we've
many
had that
times.
conversation. So that's why I
And
offered the
I
Fire
know.
1 versus
No,
BLS.
yeah.
'Cause
I
We
mean, Eric
agree
and I-
with you, but like a lot of administration around here, every time I teach a BLS class, it's what they want.
Right.
They just want something quick and done so they can get their guy.
I have a really hard time with BLS classes. Like I will teach individual segments and I'll sign off on that, but when it comes to actually like a BLS certification, I'm not putting my signature anywhere near that.
So for the
That's
folks
kinda
out there
like-
that don't understand, when we say BLS, we're talking about Bureau of Labor Standards. That's like the basic, absolute minimum to be a firefighter in the state of Maine.
I call it Fire 1 Light.
Yeah. And then the Fire 1 we're referencing is the actual national boarded certificate, so everybody's trained the same across the board. And there's such
NFPA 1001.
there's such there's not a lot of difference between the two other than time. And the reason they did the BLS stuff is so they could cut down time, get guys out in the field quicker, get them on the road. But they're not trained to that standard where we really would like them.
I think
And
my problem is
People get that and they stop there.
Right,
That's
yeah,
the problem.
that's where I was going. Is like
They
it's a
have to
great, bridge, which I think is what it was meant for.
Yeah, it was a
You're-
stopgap.
yeah.
It was an intro. And
You were
to get-
struggling. You needed to get people. You needed to get qualified. Well, let's get them trained. Get them BLS, which is like what, less than 100 hours. isn't
I
it?
thought it's
It's like
close to
78 or
80
something like
Yeah.
that.
It's close to 80
And
hours.
then hoping that they would continue on to Fire 1 and 2. What's happening is they're getting their BLS and then they're stopping.
the tap
Well, that's
out.
why
Yeah.
we are trying what we're trying, because when you have the Bureau of Labor Standards and you get that and they stop there, I think it's because to get to that next point of firefighter 1 or 2, they have to do that class all over again, because that's the only way it was offered. And that's why we're trying this bridge version where we're going to review all the stuff that they learned the first time and then add the extra components in. So hopefully it's not repeating the whole class over again. Because I think that is part of what's deterring the guys from doing it.
What do you think?
Is I've already done this, why do I have to do it all over again?
I'm probably dating myself a little bit, but the modules. Do
Mm-hmm.
you remember when we did modules for that? I mean, that was probably the early 90s.
Yeah, I was going to say early to
late
mid
80s,
90s, I think.
90s.
Stopped.
No, they
Within-
still did that at Cumberland County Fire Tech School.
For a
I
few
may be
years.
dating
Yeah,
myself, yeah.
I don't remember exactly, but that was, like module 2, I think, was SCBA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You took that and it was a 16-hour course, a weekend, and you got signed off for that module, and then you could build out. I don't even remember how many it was, 10 or 12 modules.
Yeah.
Right, so basically
then
break it down into different
it down
sections
into-
and
into sections.
individual
But
certifications or whatever.
then
each
you
one.
still have the problem of getting them to the end test, and you would probably have to almost do like a refresher prior to the end test, because how long did it take you to get all those modules? I mean, should you put a cap on it of a year or 2 years? Cause,
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
even a
that's-
year, you're going to have to go back and do a
right.
refresher. I can't
That's what I'm
remember what
saying.
happened. I did for a course last January, going, do I remember enough to go through a test?
Right. Yeah, that's what I was saying. So, I'm all on board with Fire One and doing that. I love the idea of you guys doing that bridge class. I think that's fantastic. So,
Well, we're going to try it. The chief got us the grant money to do it, and we've got a half to 3/4 of a plan laid out. And
how many
hopefully
people
we
do you
can make
have
it
for
happen.
it? How many people do you have?
We haven't got
You have-
anybody sign up for it, but we have a lot of interest.
Oh, okay.
They have a me.
Has it? They have a me.
I was going to say, we haven't opened it up for sign.
You haven't
sign up
advertised it
yet.
or anything
No.
yet. So,
But we have had feedback from other departments that haven't really been participating in the stuff that we've been doing, that say they have a handful of guys that need to take that jump. I think they're starting to identify that they need to make that jump.
good.
So
Well, so
Hopefully.
keep an eye out online and the Freiburg. You guys have a Facebook page, right?
Yes, it'll
So
be on there.
Keep an eye out to that stuff. If you guys if somebody wants to jump in that's listening, when that pops up, get in touch with them.
yeah, we're going to try to fill it with as many local folks as we can and work our way out of the bubble. And
Yep, fantastic.
Kind of like what we did with the RIT class. We wanted it to be a local class, and then once we didn't have enough, we had interest in that, and interest peaked, we said, okay, we'll open it up to further and further expanding areas.
Yep, yep. No, it was great. That was a great class too. So I really enjoyed that.
So
If
how do you guys-
anyone thinks that, just because you take one class in something, you're done. There was a member of that class who happens to be sitting around here that happened to let us know that, this was his 4th time taking a class in RIT, and he still had something to learn there. So
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
most of the time, he
I've
just bragged
said,
about his mustache.
I've said not that weekend.
Oh no, not with Mike walking around.
Mr. Clark takes that, and I'd be happy to.
I was going to
hand
say,
the
he came
trophy
in
over
a
on that
distant
one.
second.
Yeah. Might have hurt Rusty's feelings a little bit, but that's all right.
He'll cry about it later.
Is that class going to be in person, or is it some of it online, some of it in person? How is that going to run?
We haven't 100% locked that down yet, but the plan was to have some of it online so that
You should probably plan
the
come up with a contingency plan
Yeah.
of doing a hybrid.
yeah, a lot of
We're
the
going to have to.
Yeah,
a lot of the
way things are
easier
going.
stuff, like the equipment and things, these guys that are beer labor standards, they've been working. So
Yeah.
they know what an axe is. They know what a Halligan bar is. They know what the components are. So a lot of that stuff, I think we can just refresh them online. And then the more intricate things and the more hands-on stuff that they're actually going to be tested on is what we're going to have to focus on in person,
Right.
along with the newer components that they have not been taught before.
Yep.
And the great thing is we still have that building from the academy to do all of our work
That's
with.
fantastic.
So.
Which is amazing. That's an amazing building. Cool. Well, that was good.
Yep.
That's good.
So next on our list, we have a couple of different topics, more or less about trying to get people that aren't directly involved in fire and EMS some knowledge on what we do and what they can do before we get there, which I think we kind of briefly touched on in one episode. But starting off with just like a basic CPR, not necessarily your full CPR first aid classes that we all take every year, but just basically what they run through on your EMS call, your 911 calls. When you call in, they try and direct you how to do CPR with no training at all. Which I forgot. Somebody told me that at one point they were actually in airports. There was like a CPR simulator.
There are. Seattle
Yeah.
Airport had one.
Yep. I haven't seen one, but I
Yeah.
know I've heard of it, and I think I've seen videos online of it. But that's all that's for. I don't think you get any sort of certificate or anything
No, but
out of it.
it's
But
It's getting you actual hands-on experience of this is what it feels like. You can, it has the simulation of, oh, if the breastbone pops off, this is what it feels like, just to be able to get that depth, the rhythm, et cetera. Right before I left Alaska this summer, we did exactly this. We brought out all of our dummies. We said, hey, everyone in town, if you want to come by for however long or however little you want to do it, we're just going to put the dummies out and you can practice. Because we had the, what are they called? The responsive ones. So you can see, it goes into the little green lights. You're doing
yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Green, yellow, red.
Yeah.
Right. Green, yellow, red. You're doing it wrong. You're doing okay. Yeah, they're probably dead. But some of the people
Well, I
didn't know
hope
that we
they're dead to begin with.
Oh boy.
But some of our people, and again, it's a really remote town. Pretty much everybody's been through some kind of a rescue class at some point in their lives, but they didn't know that we had those dummies, and they didn't know what it felt like. They thought, if you're going to do CPR, it's the but instead they were like, oh, you actually got to put some weight behind it. Okay, great. Just something dumb like that. Somebody came up, did it for 15 minutes and went, this is great, because the one time that my dad went down, I didn't remember how to do CPR. I was pushing on his stomach or something like that.
Yeah.
And then, the dispatcher tells you where to put your hands, and it got better. But they went, now I feel more confident because of this dummy and because you guys have brought this stuff out, that if it happens again, now I'm going to remember, oh, yeah, you're right here. This is the rate and the rhythm that you do it.
Yeah.
I didn't get a certificate or anything, but helped out a bunch.
How
Hands-on.
awesome would that be at like high school?
Right.
That's
Bring
what I
it
was
by and
thinking.
just
Exactly.
drop it in, I don't know, somewhere in the gym class or whatever else.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to do an entire class about it. Like you said, if you
Right,
have the
but now
dummies
you're
out.
exposed to it. You're taking away that intimidation factor.
We actually
I
did
think
a
that was big
training with the
thing.
teachers a couple of years ago. So it was like a workshop for them. So we did stop the bleed and CPR. And it was a quick thing. It was probably an hour and some change. But the stop the bleed thing was fantastic, and they just had their minds blown at the simple things you can do and how effective you can be in actually saving someone. So,
Absolutely.
At the Voc up at the high school, I know they do CPR training, but it should be opened up to everybody.
Right. Yeah, I think it would
set
be-
it up in the gym or the cafeteria for a day,
Yeah.
and the kids have some downtime, or
Exactly.
teachers or
Cycle
whatever.
through. You
Yeah.
have a homeroom period or something like that. Bring them
Yeah.
through. Why not?
Yep.
May even lead to things like our previous topic, bringing people in.
I was just going to say that.
Exactly.
That might lead into a little intrigue and
Yeah.
recruitment. So.
Absolutely. You get somebody that sees the physical side of EMS, maybe they'll be a little more interested in it and actually put some thought to it. And I think that's a lot of the problems with all of these topics is that it just never crosses anyone's mind until it becomes an issue. I think that was the major problem with the vocational course for fire safety, was that you never really thought about it. I know when I was in high school, I had friends in the fire department, and I still didn't immediately jump out because something in my head said, if you're not a firefighter, you can't join the fire department. I didn't know where to start. These guys all came from a family background. I assumed they started because Dad was in it, and they knew everybody from the get-go, and
Right.
they've been a firefighter since they were 6 years old.
Right.
I didn't know.
But even, I grew up with firefighters. We have a lot of extended family members who are firefighters too. It never crossed my mind that I can do it until I had somebody go, oh, you're a backpacking guide or a wilderness guide, whatever. I hiked 2 miles a day. It was nothing. But they went, oh, you can do search and rescue calls. And then I started to realize, oh, this is something I could actually get into without, going to college for it or doing all these other things, being a career firefighter. Now I can go in and I'm not certified on anything, but my God, I can hold a stop sign.
Yeah.
There we go. I can go.
And she's
pick
been
things-
trained.
I have been trained. I have been trained to hold a stop sign.
Perfect.
But now I feel way more comfortable going into stuff. I just don't know what's happening over here.
That loud noise is Eric messing around with his.
Eric and Dalton are getting their asses kicked by this microphone stand right now, and it's pretty entertaining.
Look away.
It's easy to explain. Dalton doesn't know lefty, loosey, righty, tighty.
Thank God we have video, because this is going to be amazing, and you can tie it all together.
Can't wait.
Oh, it's all stripped out. It's broke.
All right,
All right.
hand
Doing
check.
great. Anyway,
Are you
things
good?
to just get
That's
people
what
in.
happens when you give us junk mic stands. Time to upgrade, Chief.
Jeez.
But yeah, I think if you got those CPR dummies out there, it would just kind of kick something in some people's heads that say, hey, even at a young age with no initial experience,
Right.
this might be something to pursue
Yeah.
or check out.
We had things, and I know you guys have talked about, like Casco days and stuff like that, getting the trucks out, getting people to see and get excited about it. We had a thing growing up in Colorado where we brought, what was it? Cardboard boxes or something down to a big fair thing. And you got to put on old fire gear as a kid and go crawl through the boxes and see what it was like to wear bunker pants, to wear a jacket. We've got a picture of my younger brother who now just came out of college because he wants to go full-time fire. Nice. And we have a photo of him at like 8 years old with all the bunker gear, giant smile on his face because he was like, I can crawl through cardboard boxes, woohoo! And now he's freaking 6'4", 270 something or like that. And he's going, I can crawl through more than just cardboard boxes.
Sounds like he'll be on a truck company somewhere.
See, that's the thing. If somebody took the time, you could go through the high school and you could go through every single subject, and I guarantee you can find something related to public safety. I'm going to say public safety in general, but
100%.
definitely the fire department, but public safety, every single subject, I guarantee.
Oh, yeah.
You could tie it in. Even auto mechanics and the tech trades.
Mm-hmm. You can do it for English. You can do, how do you write about this? How do you reach out to people to let them know either events that have happened or how to be prepared or something like that? English major here. I have to pull us back.
Oh, I'm talking about how the
writing
subject
your
relates to the
reports.
fire
Yeah,
service.
exactly.
Like writing our reports,
Right.
our PR stuff.
Absolutely. You have to have good reports.
I mean, science, that is what firefighting is.
Right.
That's what EMS is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And math,
Very
oh my
much.
God, try to jump on a pump panel and
Oh.
run water lines and multiple lines and yeah, we know that's the easy way, up, down with
Right.
the thumb, but there are,
Right. You
There
get into a
are
history
solutions
class.
out there.
History of the fire department. How did EMS evolve?
Yeah.
Just random things like that. You could absolutely get kids interested in things that they would never have
I
expected.
challenge any of our listeners to give us a topic that's in a school that doesn't tie into public safety.
You give us a topic and we'll tie it back in.
Yep, absolutely. You
Give me
Well,
a
I
word.
mean,
try to
Any
stump
word.
us.
English is perfect because John and I are finishing up our officer class, and that's all that is writing.
Oh
It's-
my God, yeah.
It's Fire 2 is it was like 17 papers or something like that.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean it's all writing.
And it's like, yeah,
You have to apply.
I don't know if your program's different than mine. Mine was 22 chapters with 22 written reports, and I actually got to finish up my stuff this afternoon
Ours-
so I can test out.
We probably had more written assignments because it was online. And like you would look at it and be like, oh yeah, this is an easy topic. I teach this. This will be fine. And I go to Brian. Brian's like, are you almost done? I was like, I'm 14 fucking pages deep. I was like, how is this? I was like, I don't know if I misread or misinterpreted this. He goes, no, I'm about the same. I was like, this sucks.
Well, you're really helping me think. I got to get my officer 1 and 2 now.
No,
I'll
it's,
tell you,
it's
it is
good
awesome.
information.
It really
and
is.
it's
It's
good
awesome.
training. It makes you think. It's just, it is. And
It's
it's
a
a lot
plot.
of writing. But doing this job is a lot of writing anyway.
Yeah, there is.
And
You just don't
Doing
always
it
do
right.
APA format, cite your stuff. You
But
just-
it's
cite your references.
It's like when I teach
yeah.
my classes. I kind of refer to it as like a driver's license. Your firefighter 1 or whatever is your regular basic fire, your driver's license. Everything after that's an endorsement. So depending on which way you want to go, you travel that path. So if you don't want to do paperwork, don't take officer classes. Take more hands-on truck stuff. You know what I mean? If you're going to be an officer class, expect to write some stuff because that's what officers do. You know, and the higher you go up the officer level, I'm sure the chief can attest, it's going to be sitting in a chair at a desk all the time.
And we've talked
So-
about that a few times, that people misunderstand that. They think of these promotions as just that, a promotion, you've done a good job, so you move on to the next step.
No, it's a path.
If you're going to be a firefighter, you can be the best damn firefighter there was, and you should be a firefighter. You know, like if you're the best person to operate a truck, but now you have to run command and you have to write all the reports afterwards, you're probably not going to be the best truck operator anymore.
Oh, I've had this conversation with a friend of mine that was trying to go up the chief ladder, and he can't stand still. He's a very operational guy, and he's very, very good at what he does. He always has to be in the middle of it.
Right.
Well, you can't be a chief and stand out front and command the whole scene if you're inside
Right.
doing the work. And if you
Yeah.
can't take that breath and step back and stand in that yard, that's not the place for you.
But people need to understand
And it's not that you can't. It's just that's physically
Right.
in his body. That's just not how he works.
They need to be honest with themselves and look at it not as you're not progressing. You can still progress. You can take these classes. You can learn. You can get better. You can get new skills. You can improve the skills you already have. And just because you don't have more bugles on your shirt doesn't mean you aren't any more or less qualified for the position that you have.
100%.
You know, you can't take that away from somebody.
Well, just like Eric said, I was talking to another guy in our department. He's a captain, and he wanted to go up through the ranks. He wanted to continue. He wanted to get his deputy chief and go on. Then we were talking, and during the training, I said, okay, for this training, you're going to be command. I want you to run the entire scene. If that's where you want to go, I'll work the training to get you where you want to be. And he did it, and then we talked afterwards, and he goes, I love being a captain. I love being interior. I still want to fight fire. And I said, that's great. If that's where you need to be or want to be, and you're really good at it, you're a natural leader at that portion of it, then I'm not going to try or it's not my job to do it, but we're not going to try to pigeonhole you into something else just because it's a quote unquote promotion.
Right.
Yeah.
He's a good leader. He's an effective leader right where he is.
Yep.
No need to put him in, the Peter principle, rise to the level of your inability. We don't need to stick him there.
Right.
So that's a good idea, though. I know we kind of drop it back on Casco days, but anytime we can get groups together, start just coming up with these little skills or little displays that we can bring out to the public. A lot of times we just don't think of it. Think of Casco days as our little carnival and our fundraiser, and don't necessarily think of it as an opportunity to get some information out there.
Until last year.
This was the
I'm
first
sorry,
year.
this year.
Right. This was the first
yeah.
year, and I think we all noticed it, that there seemed to be a lot of kids and a lot of adults that wanted to check out the trucks and look them all over. And I don't know if that's just more people coming out because they weren't able to the year before.
Locked up for a year and a half.
or what. But typically we have the trucks out front, and I've always expected to have people come up to it, and we get 1 or 2 kids a year, but this year we had lines.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was great.
It was awesome. So-
Yeah.
But now we're ready for that. We'll be ready for it for next year.
But I mean, even our little EMS booth there, put the CPR dummies out or
100%.
anything.
Yeah.
So maybe we're not taking fully advantage of the fair. Maybe we need to discuss that.
I still have
with
never
ourselves.
been to the
huge.
fair, so
Yeah.
I can't speak for it. But yeah, let's get everything we possibly can.
I mean,
out
that would
there.
be great.
Yeah, tell me how that works.
I got nothing. I thought
Blame
it was
Alaska.
mandatory.
Blame Alaska.
Like,
No, the one year that I was here, ready to go to it, was 2020.
Oh,
the vid.
Yeah.
Ed's favorite.
But no, that would be huge because that draws people from, really
All over the
all
place,
over.
right?
country.
I mean,
So you're not only doing that for your own town,
It's just-
but
Yeah, I mean, like,
everywhere.
plus you can help out public safety at the fair. Just do CPR
Yeah.
and Narcan administration, and then half our calls at the
Since-
fair will
Right,
be gone.
sit back
CMS
with
isn't
your feet up.
allowed to administer.
What are you trying to say, John?
Yeah. No, that's
See,
that's awesome.
That's the thing. We park our stuff there, like in Freiburg, the stuff's sitting there, and we expect people to walk over. In Casco days, you kind of do the same thing. You expect people. I think we got to figure out a way to entice them to actually come
Engaging
over.
things, right?
exactly.
Get
We
that
need
little
to be-
obstacle.
We can't just
course.
sit there and expect them to come to us. We
Right.
got to reach out to them.
We have
somehow.
to be actively engaging them.
Yes.
If we're actively engaging them, then you'll start to draw people in.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we've just
And start
it's
at the
always
low
been
levels.
a passive thing,
Well,
Boy, I don't know if that's all
That
about.
GoPro is having issues, eh?
Yeah. Oh well.
now that said,
yeah.
we
Is it
can-
So
we can
recording?
you know how you
find out
draw
where
a
the
crowd?
bathrooms
Let's
are, so-
start a trash can on fire, or get
There you
somebody in
go,
some mock blood
absolutely.
and drop them on the ground. I guarantee a crowd will come around.
Well, I was thinking we stick Ryan in a Sparky's you-
Ooh.
costume. Yeah, have them dance around, do cartwheels.
As
Draw
long as
kids
his
in.
probation doesn't restrict that, I think that's a great idea.
So we had on 4th of July, we took the trucks and the ambulance and everything through our tiny little town parade. But we had I forget what they're called now, the little wildland water packs, the little baby like squirt things.
We call them piss packs, by the way.
Piss packs. There we go.
Yeah, you can't
We
call him the
had-
other name. Or
I was going to
then
say
you're-
the
Exactly.
Indian
No.
tanks. Is that what we can't say anymore?
Yes. The
What do they call
Native American
Dalton now?
packs?
There we
Well,
go. Indigenous.
Just tanks.
Indigenous.
Indigenous tanks.
What do they call? What do we call them now? Seriously, 'Cause call
I
them
don't
Indian
know what the
tanks.
actual thing is.
We still call them Indian tanks, but we also call them piss packs.
Okay.
So I've heard them called
Water
piss packs.
packs.
Indian
So we
tanks
had
because that's
those.
the brand
Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
that manufactured.
Yeah, I wasn't being racist.
From India.
Yeah.
Wrong Indians.
Wrong.
Anyway, we had the piss
Wow.
packs. And so we started squirting the kids who were standing along the boardwalk as we are going through in the ambulance, which was hilarious because we ended up getting snowballs thrown at us and had a giant water fight. But afterwards, the kids came up to the station and wanted to play with the piss packs, and they had a full-on water fight. And then we had three kids who were like, "Can we go climb around on the trucks? Can we go through the station?" We like showed them through the whole thing. And their parents went, "Yeah, we've lived here our entire lives. We've never been into, granted, we just built a brand new station up in Skagway, but they went, we've never been through any of the fire stations. This is awesome. Thank you for doing that." Just because I squirted some child in the face with a piss bag. But just dumb little things like that.
I'll do that.
You do that at the fair?
So amazing.
Great.
I'll do that.
Oh, it's awesome. It's so satisfying.
I volunteer for that job. I'll spray them all.
Oh, yeah.
When they start crying,
I'll
I'll
do that
just-
forever. Oh, if they start crying, you just spray them harder.
Yeah.
Say, suck it up.
Oh yeah, that's what I was
Until
planning.
they stop crying.
So the bubbles stop.
Right.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Oh, that's right. Yep. All right. So,
Anyways,
I mean,
next
we
song.
punched that right into the ground, that plane. So,
So we have a topic here about getting different levels of kids, including John, into the station and running drills in games.
I think that's what you talked about with the boxes. It's already
Yeah.
covered.
we
Oh, yeah.
we already
we
hit
beat that horse.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But you can do different levels. Like obviously, a high school kid, you can get them run the 2-minute gear drill, see if they can do it, show them what it's like.
The one we've always kind of threatened, but you need enough people for it, is the SCBA dodgeball.
What?
Oh, that'd
you
be a
guys have never seen
blast.
that?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We have 2 bags of.
I did it for one of my BLS classes and almost killed a guy. he took, like, what is it, a week later he quit?
No, it was
So-
the same day.
Oh,
I
you
think.
really,
Was it the
you
same
really
Same
went for
day?
it?
Yeah.
Oh no,
Okay,
like so
somebody
it's
explain to me, what
it's-
is this?
It's
put on your
dodgeball,
pack,
but
you
put
put
your
on your
pack
gear. And
That's
you
it?
Just, you
Yeah,
just
so
play
you learn how to
dodgeball.
breathe.
How did he die?
But it's very.
to learn how to
You have
breathe.
like 75 pounds of equipment on it,
Right.
And you're fogging up, and it's very labor intensive.
It's all about
And
air
you go-
management.
yeah, You go through your air fast. And he went through his air fast. He wasn't in the best shape, and he turned purple.
Oh,
Yeah,
whoops.
Yeah, he did quit. Did he quit that day?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well,
Oops.
I've been to several of your trainings where people leave in ambulances. Just saying.
I mean, we just have
funny how that
regular
works.
gatherings.
First of all,
Ambulances.
their chief signs the participation form, and 2, they have a medical clearance. It's not my fault.
I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying there is a.
There's a history.
Yeah.
There's a pattern and a theme and a history.
So
I
what
had
you're
that
saying is,
conversation
Improve your health.
As long as,
Wait,
as,
yeah,
long as
that
it's
is-
documented.
Partner with LEOs and local gyms. See, moves right on to our next topic.
There you go.
Well, we skipped one, but yeah, we can go
That's
to that.
fine.
Oh, it's fine.
That's the obituaries. Highlight your members in social media and on local paper,
Yeah.
or even toss. That's the obituaries in the paper after John kills them.
Valid.
Good Lord.
But no, I kind of like that idea. I mean, you have to be careful with it, and it depends on how your
Right.
PR is in general. But if you can highlight your members in social media, local paper. Does anybody still get a paper?
Yes.
Conway
A
Daily
lot of
Sun.
people do.
All
So
right.
let
Yeah.
me just tell you that last month when I went to a board meeting, we were talking about the cost recovery plan ordinance that I was putting ahead, and the next week I got an email from a town manager up north who used to live down this way and gets a Bridgeton News, he wanted more information. He inquired if I had any information that I'd be willing to share with him about a cost recovery plan ordinance. So I sent him all the stuff I had, but I mean, that was in the Bridgeton News, and he saw it in there, and so I mean, it's still, people are still reading the papers, I guess.
Yeah.
So, but
Well, all those papers are also digital now.
I was going to say, they're online, so people look at them that way a lot.
Yep.
yeah. So, but I guess I'll just jump another PSA if we're talking about social media and everything. The town is launching a brand new website at the end of the month, December 28th. Completely redone website. If you're ever gone to the town's website, you can't find anything. It's just a mess. So it's now completely revamped, easier to find stuff. It's ADA compliant, which is actually a thing.
Yes.
I never, until we started this process, I didn't know that websites actually had an ADA compliance section that you have to meet.
Didn't know that either.
They have to be certain colors
Yep.
for sight disabilities, things like that.
makes
Oh yeah,
sense.
this was a whole thing
Yeah,
for
it's
HelloFresh.
it's been amazing to learn the things that we've had to change. But now every department head will have control over their own page on the website, and at the same time we do that, which is, the company is called Civic Plus. We got an add-on which is called Civic Ready, and that's for emergency alerts. So you go to the website, you can sign up for any sort of newsletters and stuff through the town, but you can also sign up for emergency alerts. So if there's road closures for fires or accidents or storms, or we open a warming shelter or a cooling shelter or stuff like that, I can push that from my phone out to that network, and anybody who's signed up will get those notifications. It's pretty awesome. So
It's super helpful. We had
Yeah.
those in Alaska because we had our one road in and out. If there was an avalanche, you're freaking stuck.
right.
But they would tell it we had a big bear problem this summer. So they would put out, the bear has been sighted over here. The bear's been sighted on this road. It's moving this way. Stay inside your homes.
Right.
Things like that. But it was really helpful for, this road's going to be shut down.
Yep.
Cool.
Gotta love it when you're worried about avalanches in July.
It's one time.
No, but I think, I mean, you get feedback when things get posted, but it seems like we get a lot of response whenever we do like our fire safety month or something like that. Whenever we stop
Yeah.
at a school, whenever we do a picture with the members of the department in front of a truck outside of some place and just highlight what they've done. If you did that with individuals, I mean,
And we talked about that too, and everything just kind of fell apart last year. But our plan is to do staff spotlights and, give a little history of who's done what and how long people have been here and that kind of stuff. So
Right. The more personal you can make it, then again, the less intimidating it's going to be for somebody else to come in.
Yeah,
Like if I
100%.
saw on Chaffee County Fire, there were 2 women. When I saw that there were 2 women, that gave me more hope of, oh, cool, this is a thing I can do. Great.
yeah,
I don't have to have a mustache.
But it helps.
Still working on it.
It still helps.
yeah.
Eh,
No.
we'll see.
Well, let's go back to women. Think about the training we just went through, last month, that RIT training. Who were the 3 most energetic people in that class?
100%.
The females.
The 3 females that were in that class.
That 5-foot girl we had from Standish.
Lexi.
Yes, Lexi.
Lexi was
Taking that 300-pound dude
a
down the ladder all by
beast.
herself, that surprised everybody.
It shocked
Surprise.
everybody.
hands
her.
down.
Her face was just lit up like a Christmas tree. She just couldn't believe that she had just done that.
Us instructors knew she could do it because of the
Yeah.
technique that we
Right.
teach,
Right.
but to watch her figure out that she could do it for herself was amazing.
Yep.
We've
So
hung
you-
out since then. She has not stopped talking about it. She is so excited about
That's
that. And
awesome.
she got to bring that back to her department and to her chief and go, I just learned something completely different, but now I know how to use it. I just gained confidence. Put me in.
Right.
Let me
I've
do
seen
more.
her at a couple of mutual aid calls over in Sebago, and she's a rock star. She's right in the middle of it,
I
just
believe
getting
it.
after it.
I just hope she gets some gear that fits.
She has put in a request to the person who's supposed to be handling it.
'Cause
So
that was-
if we
that was-
see her
Yeah.
around with that same
It was almost criminal how bad that gear fit her.
Yeah.
her jacket was past the back of her knees.
But for you guys that were actually in the other evolutions, you didn't see this. When I was walking around to the different groups that were going, the 3 girls were in the same group, and we went to the bailout. I've never seen
much
people, I've never seen the enthusiasm like I saw in that group. The girls they do a bailout. I mean, who in their right mind thinks jumping out a window head first is fun? Grabbing a ladder, sliding, well, okay.
He said right mind.
Touche.
But the girls, I mean, and there was still some guys in their group. The guys would just mosey on back. And this is typical of our trainings. You know, we all know it. You know, the guys just kind of mosey on back. The girls were getting done with the ladder, and they were running.
Back
Literally
upstairs.
running
Yep.
back upstairs to go do it again.
It was awesome. No one
tell
has
them not
ever
to run
told
on a
me I
fire
can
scene?
run up. No.
Nobody's told you could jump out a window
No.
at first.
Well, they've told me to jump out a window, but I didn't believe them.
They tell me to play in traffic too. I don't know what that's all about. But
Yeah, they say stand in
Right?
front of the big
As
truck.
long as you have the
right
proper
now.
training in the
I would say they
house.
clearly haven't taken the training because I
Here's
was
our
specifically in the
PSA.
training.
Here's our PSA. You want to jump out windows and play in traffic? Join
Be a
your fire
firefighter.
department.
Yep, 100%.
Absolutely. But I mean, that was a huge thing. I was going to show up to that training anyway because I obviously had no choice. But when I showed up and I saw 2 other girls on scene, I was freaking stoked.
Yeah.
And I started talking to them more. And yeah, now Lexi and I from Standish are hanging out because it was just so good to meet other women who are in this field who aren't terrifying, shall we put it? There are some very intimidating women out there, I will say.
Oh, God, yes. We have several in this department.
Yes, those interviews or the episodes with Gretchen and Dana,
Yeah, they're aggressive.
hilarious.
Yeah.
But also, I'd
They
be
are not
terrified to
betas.
meet
They
them.
are alphas, and they will eat their young alive.
1000%, which is great. We need that. But it's nice to have some
They
other
eat
some
their
younger
young.
women too. That's a big
Love you,
thing.
Gretchen.
And,
Love you,
and
Dana.
So talking about that, Jenica was in the class. I just
Yeah.
found out that she got that full-time position.
She did?
She put it
Awesome.
over, so
Great.
Congratulations.
yeah, it's huge. So
She came a long way, and she
she
was.
has.
I hate to say
She-
this. She
she
was
is-
kind of set up for failure, just the way she entered. She entered with no experience, and then she was a driver, and then some things were missed in her training,
Oh.
and then she was kind of just thrown into it. And she overcame a lot. I mean, her first CPAT, she failed miserably, but then she went to the gym and just crushed it. I mean,
Good on
she
her.
is an amazing not even a woman, amazing human being.
Yeah.
She did well.
Yeah, but did you see her confidence in that course? I mean, she was
Yeah.
fairly confident coming in. I'm not going to,
Well, that was
downplay
her second RIT class in 3 months.
Oh wow.
Because we hosted one here and she went through that. And then
That's
she went,
right. She did
yeah.
say that. Okay.
Yep.
But her confidence at the end, she was just, she was rocking it.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think that's a lot of it, because I think the women that I've seen that don't want to do the fire side of it are so afraid that they can't.
Yes.
I mean,
It's a huge thing. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's kind of having some confidence in your instructor, I believe, because I mean, I've seen men that shouldn't be able to lift Eric and I, but it's all about the techniques, and you have to trust your instructor. You know, they're going to teach you. They're not going to put you in a position that's going to endanger you or anyone else. That at the end of the day, that's all we're worried about, is keeping you out of danger. And we might push you to a level of discomfort. Ideally, we're going to push you to a level of discomfort.
Right.
But you have to trust that you're going to make it through it. We're not going to allow you to fail. And we wouldn't tell you to do something that you can't do. And I think that's where it falls apart a lot of times.
I will say there is definitely, I have had great instructors. I have had, how do I say this without cursing?
Just go for it.
Real rough instructors.
Subpar.
Subpar. There we go.
Just say it. Shitty.
I've had some really shitty instructors.
There you go. See?
And
Encouraging.
there is an aspect of it where some other places that are not located in the state, we had some people who they had absolutely no confidence in women in EMS, in search and rescue, in fire, and you could tell that. So as soon as we came into trainings, it was rough, and you just got to take that with a grain of salt. It's not everybody; it's different.
We've
it's
had
different
this conversation
personalities.
before
Exactly.
Yeah, see, I
There's two
hate-
different types of I'm not even gonna say females. There's two different types of people
Yeah.
in public safety. There's the ones that just want the T-shirt and to go to the parties and hang out, and then there's the ones that actually want to come do the work. I have absolutely no problem with females in the fire service as long as they're going to put in the work.
Oh,
If
absolutely.
they're here for a T-shirt and hang out,
Like you
they
said-
can
No,
do
no,
it
no.
elsewhere.
But
Like
this is
Sarah-
this is different,
and I'm the
Eric.
same
This
way
was
with the
very
guys.
I was gonna say,
specifically.
take the
they were
female
very
out of that.
old school. No, I'm saying put the female back in.
No,
there
I'm
were some
telling
very
Eric.
old school people in there who they did not want women around because they didn't trust us. They didn't trust that we could actually show up and do the job because they had seen one female who had failed and they went, oh well, that's it forever, or they had never actually given them the skills to be able to do their jobs correctly.
yeah, that's wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's wrong.
absolutely.
But I'm saying there's definitely two different people in the fire
Oh,
service, and it's not just
1000%.
females. There's guys
No, no,
too that
Yeah.
are here just to sit
Right.
around and collect a paycheck.
Absolutely.
And as an
And I
instructor,
absolutely, it's a pet
as
peeve
an
of mine.
instructor, I hate the female male thing. I've had females use the excuse, "Well, I'm a female, I'm
Yep.
not strong enough,"
Oh,
And that's-
and I
absolutely
just
not.
look
Get
at
out.
them and I go, "That's bullshit."
There's nothing
We might have to
more-
do things
It's
differently.
like literally, I
but
have
we can
a
friggin' do 'em.
firefighter paramedic that's like 4 foot tall and a female, and she passed her 1 and 2. She threw a roof ladder all by herself. She did her search and rescue. She dragged out her partner who was over 200 pounds, and just this tiny little girl. And then I have other women that are very aggressive. Oh, Carl. Shut up, Carl. But they've literally come to me and say, well, no, I can't do it. I'm a female. I'm not strong enough. I'm like, bullshit.
There's nothing more
What does he want?
frustrating as an
back.
instructor.
Oh,
Nobody cares.
yeah. No one cares about it. Just joking. Love you, Carl.
There's nothing more frustrating as an instructor than hearing somebody say, I can't do that. And unless you give me a reason, I can't do that, I broke my hand, unless,
Right.
you know, whatever.
Right.
Then it goes back to what I just said, the confidence. If I'm telling you you can do that, I'm very confident you can. Going up the ladder, so many people get halfway up, I can't go. You can, yeah, there's a mental block. I don't like ladders, I don't like heights. But I did it. I passed my 1 and 2. I went to, trust me, I focused on the rung in front of me and went 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm out of rungs, clip in. Can we go down? Yep, we can go down. Unclip, back down the ladder. I went.
He's not lying. He's
Don't
not
do
lying.
that to me as an instructor. If you're in one of my classes so you can't do it, I'm going to spend the rest of the class teaching you 3 different ways of doing it.
Right.
And Ed's not lying. I've seen him clung to the pitch of a roof like a cat, and we're like, "Hey, go cut a vent." Ed's shimmying along like a caterpillar. Meanwhile, Madura runs up the ladder, skips over Ed, and just skips on the way there, cuts the hole, comes back. Ed's still shimmying because he hates heights. He did it though. I told him to go cut a roof.
Well, that
And
was
he-
it. That was
No,
what I
so
was
no,
gonna
no, no.
say.
I didn't even get to cut the roof. It was break the eave on the end of it. So here I am straddling the top of this roof. I don't remember if I had an axe or a Halligan, but I'm trying to break this eave end in, and I'm like, it's not breaking. I can't figure it out. And then yeah, the next time, because we were first on scene.
Yep.
This was fresh out of 1 and 2.
Yep.
I had set a ladder with someone else who was probably not fully qualified to be there on an icy porch, so I'm terrified going up anyways, and then I get on top of this icy little camp roof.
It was a half story, by the way. But
This is getting better and better.
Right. Oh, there's no shame in this. I'll do it
But-
every
but-
single time.
but
I
you know
was
what was
there
awesome?
and I made the attempt, and then the
was
next
gonna say-
town pulled up, and this dude's got a running chainsaw in his hand, and he skipped up the ladder, like John said, walked by me like, what the hell is this idiot doing? And then cut a vent in the side of the building, which I was never told to do. If somebody handed me a chainsaw and said, cut the roof, again, it,
Well, we
wouldn't
were-
have been graceful or pretty, but it would have been
We
done.
were hoping that we could vent it through the eaves, but the person we assigned to that was taking a while as he shimmied across the roof.
Understood. Yeah.
Hey, Ed, don't worry. Some of this just comes way back when. The first assignment I got out of the academy in Montgomery County was put on a truck company. I'm like you. I didn't really care for heights. I'm 18, fresh out of the academy. Well,
There's a
Before you-
dinosaur flying overhead.
basically, yeah.
T-Rex for a crewman.
I had a crewman that looked like
Pterodactyls
a
directing
T-Rex.
traffic.
But the first thing they did is before you could even ride, you had to get checked out on the truck. So they go out in the parking lot, put the stick it's a 100-foot stick, put it straight up in the air. And they said, by the way, you got 1 minute. You have to be on the top, clip in, let go, lean back, show that you trust, you have trust. Okay, I'm not really crazy about heights. Same thing, just looking rung. Get up to the top, my hands are on the top rung. And for the first time, I look out and I border DC. So now, being 100 foot up, I could look and I'm like, all the monuments. And I'm just going, this is so cool. And I forgot to clip in.
Did you let go?
Not yet.
He's still here, so I don't think so.
But the
He's
sergeant,
actually dead.
my sergeant down below, is screaming at me,
The
clip
ghost
in,
of
clip
Rob.
in, clip in. And I'm like, what's he talking about? Oh, he thought I froze because he's like,
oh, I got you.
you're standing up there like this, and I'm in amazement of, wow, this is DC, this is cool. And finally clipped in, let go, and he comes down. He's like, what the hell were you doing up there? I'm like, you can see the monuments. I
Eric,
got
do you
that, my
remember
head
me getting
slapped
stuck
off.
on the ladder at my end test?
I don't know.
Your
if I do.
shoe, right?
My shoe got stuck
Yes,
in the
I do remember that.
Yes, his clown boot.
Second story up, I did a leg lock,
His
which
canoe.
for those of you that don't know, I have size 14 shoes. So when you put those in fire shoes, they add an extra 3 or 4 inches to it. It barely fits through the rungs, anyways. And then it got stuck in the halyard where I was, so stuck in all the ropes. Second story up, and same thing. They thought I froze. They're like, "No, you've got it, you're fine." I'm like, "No, guys, I am stuck. I
really don't got it.
I have tried every way I can, and I don't got it."
Best leg lock you've ever seen.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So that was fun. Have someone come up behind me and push my foot through the ropes, and good times.
awesome.
Like I said, it's all about having the faith in your instructor to come up and untangle you from the ladder.
Hi, Ed. How you doing?
So that kind of leads us into the next one she had was make a list of roles with the fire department that don't require structural, including certificates, qualifications. So those things that you might not fully trust in yourself or whatever, how do you know, unless we put it out there, that there's all kinds of different things for you to do? And
Right,
you don't
like the
have
driver
to,
option.
You don't have to be up 100 feet to be on the fire department. You don't have to go into a burn building to be on the fire department. If you just want to do some computer work and some record keeping for us, I'm sure the chief would love that.
You
Let me
wanna
know.
run
I
base
just
radio?
started my budget process, so that'd be great.
So if you have a financial
accountants
background,
out there.
Exactly.
Anybody who's a CPA, accountant.
It's
look me
kind
up.
of back to what I said about the high school. Like any subject is
Yeah.
in there, and if you come in here and you want to do something to help your town, we'll find a spot for you.
You guys have a junior program, right? Ish. I mean,
Would we
ours
call
was
it a
literally
program,
just
or-
my brother. But I mean, if you had a high schooler come in, a junior or a senior come in who was like, I want to learn. I know I can't do everything, but what can I be involved with? Could they come sit here and I don't know if
Yes.
you guys have a base
Yep.
radio person, but learn how to do the base radio stuff. Caleb was entering in run reports when he had his motorcycle accident. He couldn't do anything else, but
Yeah.
he still wanted to be involved. There's got to be something.
I think we have one junior left, which is my son, but he got interested for like 3 months and then just kind of disappeared.
And then you made him
He's
wear
gonna end up being a
kilt, and he
cop.
was out after that.
Oh yeah, he's still I
Still
still force
traumatized.
him. Yeah, he just plays the bass drum for us now. But hey, everybody has a spot, right?
There you
Right.
go.
The junior stuff kind of went to the wayside because most places you can join at 14 or 16.
that what it is?
It's 14
Okay.
or 16, depending on the insurance companies and what
Yeah.
town.
Okay.
And then a lot of the state certs and national certs, you have to be 18.
Right.
Right.
So
yes.
within that couple of years before you turn of that age,
Yeah.
there's all kinds of stuff to do.
Right.
So really, we've kind of pushed away from the junior programs, and really, you're just a rookie firefighter, like coming in.
Yeah. A lot of departments though, because like you can do a lot with a junior. I think it's 16 and older.
Yeah.
They can have live fire as long as they're with an instructor. But a lot of departments are scared to stick a teenager into a training building and stuff like that.
I'll give our chief credit. He said the same thing. He's like, yeah, if you want to train him, that's fine. You go in, you just, as the instructor, you have to be with him.
Yes, that's per
That's-
BLS. Yeah.
And
That's
then,
a law.
yeah.
And now 1403. Thank you.
Yep.
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 Can't even have fire, I guess.
Well, a
Yeah.
1403 fire, yeah, that plays a lot against reality.
Well, a lot of people did some bad stuff and ruined it for a lot of people. I remember when I first started, we were burning everything and doing all kinds of stuff. A couple people die, and now you can't burn anything but a pile of hay and a pallet.
But
Evil.
those were some pretty stupid things too.
Oh,
so
yes, hugely stupid, but
that's where policies are born from.
Yeah.
People doing stupid shit.
There should be
Pendulum
a name on
swings
every-
the
I'll
other way.
admit there's some policies out there named after me. So
Yep.
It happens.
If there isn't, then you weren't trying hard enough.
exactly,
Amen.
I would
you
say
weren't really active. were you?
if you don't get in trouble for something, you weren't doing anything.
Right. That's fair.
It'd just be nice to have that pendulum swing back to the middle so you could get a little more realistic than
Right.
Yeah.
2 pallets and 3 bales of hay.
Well, if Ed has his way, everything's going to be simulation on computer systems or whatever. We can get into that John and Ed topic, don't you?
What?
Boy.
Oh, all the simulations.
Episode 1, John.
Oh.
No.
Yeah, that's what Ed wants to do is put everybody in the VR headsets and train them to be firefighters.
I have
Glad
one,
we have the cameras
I have one
just for that
school
look
assignment.
of blazing anger
Right.
that went across the table.
Fucking kids.
And this is how you feel the heat.
Got really warm in here all of a sudden. I don't know what's happening.
And then
So do you get
Here
to
we
feel
are.
the heat by putting the little hand warmers over their ears or something?
It was a school assignment.
He's-
Plugging
I
a
needed to
heater
argue
next
it.
to him.
He sits there with a blow dryer. This is what it's really like.
Space heater. One of those salamanders right behind him. God, it's so hot.
wearing a CPAP.
Oh God, yeah. Where are we?
I don't even
No.
know.
We're on page 2 now.
Are we? Okay.
All right.
You guys make fun of that about the heat.
That's
and
like
then you
you-
remember like the first action. No, probably like the third call I went to is the burnt up gear that's in the closet over there. The
Well,
fire that I
that's-
got pushed into.
Yeah.
That's because you were with 2 younger idiots, right? They were like, "No, you're fine."
Significantly older than I was. Yeah.
Were
Yeah,
they?
but people
Well, they're
also
younger
did-
compared to me.
didn't-
Shut up. That was the fire that burned green. Like that was hot.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
I burnt my hand just forcing a door
Why'd you force a door?
because Adam told me to.
So there was a whole lot of people
Yes.
telling other people what to do.
Well, I
and
forced the
got
door,
involved.
and it wasn't really a flash, but it came out, and it was a metal door. So I'm
It wasn't
holding.
really- it didn't really flash, but
Not
it came
like-
right out at me when I popped it.
No, it's like
energy
I
and
wouldn't
speed
say. Yeah,
and heat.
it wasn't. It wasn't a flash, but it came out. There was some pressure behind it.
It's just
So
like
I-
that, fresh oxygen.
Right. I tried to
thanks.
hold the door, which was metal, and my gloves were wet because it was snowing and we were just soaked. And then I'm like holding it. Adam's getting ready to hit. I don't even know what Adam was doing. He's getting ready to hit the fire, which you assume that once you force the door, you'd start hitting the fire. He was waiting, and I'm sitting there like, I'm like, oh, my hand is cooking. I was like, oh, and I was like, Adam, hit it. Hit it, hit it, hit it. And I was like, no, I can't do it. I got to leave. I just placed my Halligan down and then left. I was like, well, that Halligan's gone.
He was
Yes.
probably looking for that smoothbore nozzle.
What is this?
This is stupid. Give me a smoothbore.
Why is there buttons and twisty things on this?
That's for the gangster grip.
Right?
So for those of you that don't know, for you smaller people in the room, the bigger people in the front typically block the heat. Yeah, so if you're ever in a fire and it doesn't really feel that hot, maybe trust the person that's in front of you. When they say, man, it's getting kind of hot, then they say, no,
Push.
you just haven't been in enough fires. You're good. Keep going.
Push in.
Yeah. I delaminated my mask. The whole right arm was orange. Wow. It wasn't that hot because I backed up. Eventually, I said, okay, you're an idiot. We're backing up. And then, I went to rehab.
At what point did
They
you
were-
determine that, Ed? Was it when your mask was melting off your face?
Basically, yeah.
Because that was way too late.
And I wasn't even inside the building. This was still outside.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was hot. Like I said, holding the door.
Well, that's what I was
cooking.
like 10 feet back, spraying
Ed
into a
actually
window.
went
He's
in.
like, no, you've got to get up and spray in. And I was like, yeah, I
As
know.
your
but
face is
it's-
just dripping
well,
down the front
sideways, and I'm like, it's hot, dude. He's like, no, it's not that bad. You just haven't been in a fire. You're fine. Again, trust the senior person. Sometimes don't. And kept
Did you
walking
use the
forward,
rotisserie
walking-
tactic? If it's too hot on the left, you spin to your right and you go back and forth.
I did not.
Nobody taught you that?
No.
Yeah, that's a class I'll have
Yeah,
to put
you. I
on.
was
There
say
you go.
you were my teacher, so
I was not at that fire. I did not burn him up.
Nope. Nope.
But
There's
yeah,
four sides
so-
to a coat.
So, I mean,
Get in there. Jeez.
it
If
was,
your mask is burning up, just turn around.
It's fine.
it was what, like 5 o'clock in the morning. It was
Yeah.
early, around this time of year. And so I didn't even realize it till I went back to rehab. And I'm like, my arm is orange. The entire jacket is orange. And then when I took the mask off, I thought it was like just ice frozen over or whatever. No, it had delaminated the plastic on the mask. Good. So that was a nice
What'd you learn about that
dear
fire?
chief thing. And that was
Yeah.
So that was a
Yeah, he wasn't happy.
no. That was a that
BLS
was
is
a
going to come and talk to you.
that was a bad sit down because it was like, you didn't think it was hot. I was like, no, I thought it was really hot. But the senior person behind me said to keep going. He was like, didn't you just get out of class? Yeah, I just got out of class. Did they not teach you what too hot is? You know? Well, now I know. Orange. Orange is too hot. That's when you back up.
Mayday, mayday, mayday.
Orange, bad.
When the fire starts changing colors, you know something's wrong.
Yeah. So for
Nice.
you senior officers or senior firefighters, don't push your new people. Trust their judgment a little bit,
Or rotate them like a rotisserie chicken.
Right.
or rotate them.
That way
Like
you
Eric
have
said.
8 sides. 'Cause you
Switch
got
to
2
your right
people.
side.
Stick an
If
apple
that
in
pro
my
we
mouth
can't
and
hack
call
it,
a
put
day.
another one in front of you. That's how we get in there deep.
That's right. Stack them up. Jeez. All right, what's next? Holy cow, we're at like almost an hour and a half. This is
Let's-
awesome. We're just going with it.
Do we want to keep going? What do we
Why
typically
not?
aim
Don't
for
scare
like an
Ed.
hour?
Half of that's when we were chatting before we even
Yeah.
started.
That's true too.
We're at
What's
hour,
next?
We're about an hour and 10 minutes.
So now we're talking about the effects on family.
No.
Yeah, the facial expression that just changed for Eric. Yikes!
Yee. Mood killer.
Don't look at me.
We're just talking about
I'm
fire.
sorry,
Oh,
guys.
it's just the holidays, and you reminded me I don't have any family.
Keep complaining
I was
that
gonna
no
say
one gives
that,
you
but-
topics.
Eric,
All right,
I'm
where are
on
your
the
family?
semi-okay one.
Here's my advice to all the young firefighters. Don't bring it home with you. Don't mention your job to your loved ones. Bury it deep down inside. And when it starts bubbling
you're
back
doing it
up,
right.
just take shots. You're fine.
There we go.
Done. Next.
Clearly, this is
Help.
John's.
Take an axe
This
out of
is
the bag,
John's
the tree
action
stump.
because this has to be at least the 5th time I've heard him say that.
I'm just trying to help
Bury
people
it
out.
down.
Bury it down like the rest of us. I don't want to hear about your feelings. And if you're a grown person crying, I'm walking away.
No, that one's actually legitimate.
Right?
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't.
1,000%.
Carl's here, everyone.
Bye, Carl. Bye,
Bye,
Carl.
Carl.
I think that's John's favorite moment is when he sees me and there's an adult crying. And he's like, "Ha! This is yours."
We did
no.
talk about that in episode 15 as well. Yep. What do I do with my hands?
Listen, like, I have my bachelor's in psychology. I know what's going on and stuff. I do not know how to deal with a grown person crying.
No,
Like,
neither do I.
I'm like, this is so
There,
awkward.
there. It's okay.
No, I'm just like, okay, Ed will
Yeah.
talk to you. In a bit. Here's your cookie.
Right?
I'm thirsty. You want a bottle of water? I'll
Or
go get
something
one.
stronger?
Yeah.
What do
How's
you
John
need?
handle it? Here's my partner Ed. He's gonna ride with you.
I thought Ed was supposed to try to put together a program for you
He
guys
is,
after
yeah.
our last conversation.
Yeah, what happened to that?
That was on the last episode.
Oh no! See,
you
I'm
still
an
working on
officer
that?
in another department. That's my job. That's not here. No.
We assigned
I thought it
to
was
you.
delegated.
It's literally
no.
published.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
We can play it back, and it's on video, I do
Yeah.
believe.
I said
Yeah.
I'd work on it, not for here.
Nope. I'm pretty sure we assigned that to you.
Yeah.
If not, it just happened
We
now.
have evidence. All right, what are we
But
going?
if you're doing it for the other department, just change the top of the letterhead, and
could, yeah.
there you go.
There you
Get it
go.
done.
Invite both departments and have a good turnout.
2 for the price of 1.
Right?
Yikes!
You're welcome.
Watch your other departments are.
What's that?
I don't want your other departments are.
You don't want my other department? They don't want you.
Just do it separately.
Yeah, whatever.
Wow.
We'll see you, whatever, 2 o'clock in the morning when there's actually something to do.
So family.
So yeah, I guess what are your ideas for preparing your
Oh,
family?
I have no freaking clue.
I don't know how to prepare
His poor
them.
wife, my poor mother, has no idea what to do with us. She has me, him, and my brother. The youngest brother wants to go into law enforcement, and she's sitting there going, "What is wrong with all of you? You have no emotions. You don't talk about anything except for coming back and there was blood. It was awesome. Woo!"
So is
Right,
she the
but-
one who has a drinking problem in the family?
No, she's the one who doesn't drink.
So how do we get her involved in public safety?
How do we ruin her life?
Where does she
too?
fit in the spectrum?
You are eating her contribution.
Oh,
We need that.
But legitimately, she
And
has
kitchen.
made so many baked goods.
Let it be noted, I have not partaken in that Tupperware container yet.
I'm going to wait till
Yet.
after so you don't have to listen to me
For
chew.
the love of God, Eric, if you do not eat one of these cookie bars after giving me so much shit at RIT training about not bringing them the second day,
I didn't eat them at RIT training either.
oh my God.
I like them better warm.
I'm done.
straight
She's
out of the
never
oven.
getting baked goods again.
When her
Literally
when her
never.
brother got in a motorcycle wreck, Rob and I were teaching class together, and we went up and helped build a ramp for him to get in and out of the house. And
Oh, thought
I don't
you were
know
gonna
who
say for
actually
another
made them.
motorcycle.
He does have. He does have another motorcycle.
That's totally where I thought he was going. Yeah, so he wrecked, but we built him a bigger ramp. So
Now he goes
You
into a
really send
do
it.
now he goes into a dumpster of phone.
We fixed the geometry a little bit because that's what was off
The
the
numbers
first time.
were off.
So
It's
no,
okay
no.
now.
So we built a ramp for his wheelchair, and I don't know who built them, but they came out with. Was it you or was it your mom?
I think
or was
my
it your
mom made
brother?
them.
I don't remember.
I don't
But
know.
they were like
I was
fresh out of the
actually cutting
oven.
boards, thank you.
You can't resist a cookie bar fresh out of the oven.
Oh no.
But
Ever
you
since
tried.
then, we tell her, "Hey, bring cookie bars," and she brings them like 3 days later. They're hard
There's a
and cold.
microwave downstairs.
That's what she said.
she knows where it is.
Okay.
They're
so
not.
These
out of
were
a mic-
only made yesterday
They're different out of
because
like-
we
They're-
couldn't
they're-
get them. No one was going to get up at 6 in the morning.
They're just
to make
different in
them.
a microwave than straight out of
I
the oven.
did get up at 6 in the morning to make them last time, and someone didn't have them at RIT training.
Okay,
Family?
so preparing family.
Yeah. So mental health on both ends.
Yeah.
Now it's
The
time
one
for
thing
Santa
I
Paul.
will say is you can't plan things ever. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the amount of Valentine's meals I've missed and concerts and date
I,
nights or
you know,
whatever that have
can I give you some
gone.
advice?
Don't.
Don't
yeah,
plan.
just don't. Flowers, candy, and then if it happens, it happens. If not, oh well.
Good.
Yeah, but
Well,
they-
there we go. All right. Good luck,
Solved,
everybody.
all
You will
right.
never have a relationship.
Flowers and
You
candy.
can have a relationship without all that crap.
They just also
I guess
have to be.
I guess
in
this is
some
probably
sort
where
of
you talk
public
about it,
safety.
right? Listen,
I
Christmas,
would
your
love to be
birthday,
a fly on your
anniversaries.
family house's
The statistics
wall.
of
No,
divorce.
no, you wouldn't.
It's fine.
I don't want to.
Have
She
you
knew
met
what
his
she was
kids?
getting into.
No, I got to
Did
admit.
she? Because that's actually a valid thing.
Oh,
if
yeah.
she knew what she was getting into, okay, great.
Oh yeah.
Is that why I saw her with another guy the other day
Oh, that's
having
fine.
dinner?
That's fine.
That's fine.
He shares.
That's been
okay.
allowed.
Right?
Yikes.
Have a what?
Upside down pineapple on your front porch.
I don't know what that is.
Look it up.
Google it.
So
Oh,
how do
Lord.
you prepare volunteers
Okay,
for a
yeah.
healthy work life and volunteer balance?
Just have them listen to this episode.
Right.
Send them home with John for a day.
Right?
I don't know how you guys are feeling, but I think this is our best one yet. This is awesome.
Well, in all honesty, so my wife was a hairdresser when I re-met her.
was
Not currently, yeah.
Is
There you
well,
go.
she does everything. So like, I was
we
working.
know because you don't do anything.
Oh please, I was working for everyone back then. Northeast, per diem in Casco. I think it was on Raymond at the time. I was like literally just whoring myself out for jobs. And she was just a hairdresser, and she kind of knew that literally I wasn't around.
Just.
Not just a
Yikes.
hairdresser. That's the only job she had at the
Okay.
time. However,
Employed solely as.
yes, employed solely yes. So she kind of, when we restarted dating
Love
again,
you, Nina.
she kind of she kind of knew. Oh, plus I was doing the whole part-time police thing. So
And she agreed to start dating you again?
yeah, obviously, look at this, amazing.
John's
Well, we
playing
know
we
back
checked
to the
her
mental
mental
health.
capacity?
a little.
But she's now a nurse. She also sells real estate, and then she cuts hair on the side. So she knew. And then plus we're kind of in the same career field. It's funny because when she'll bring home stories to me, and I'm just like, why are you telling me work stuff? Like, this is not how this works. But she'll bring home stories, and I'll just chuckle. I was like, yeah, that's how it happens. I was like, she's like, well, I had to babysit a psych. It was one-on-one. I was like, yeah. It's awful, isn't it? I'm glad I have them for 30 minutes and then it's your problem.
It is kind of nice having a significant other like that. I
Yeah.
mean, you guys all know we've
Right.
talked about it before. I met mine at a class,
Yours is
and
almost
then we
a
got
doctor
together the
now.
year. Yeah,
Were you
yeah.
instructing that class, Eric?
I was, but we actually didn't start seeing each other until the next year.
Officially.
But
pass that class.
Good
Silence.
God.
I had to
So,
reset
let's
my
see.
thing.
How to support your response.
But the best part is with a significant other like that, and we've talked about this before, is that like when a call comes in, we both jump up and go together. So I'm not the one missing the activity. We both are. It's our pets that are taking the heat of it when I got to shove them in a crate and run out the door. Which, by the way, my dog knows the sound of our tones.
Right.
It just
Well,
goes in
it's
the
a-
crate himself.
It's,
But I
the,
mean-
it's the same thing with kids. Like we were on the way
You
back
shove the
from
kids
camp.
in a crate and go out the door.
I've literally had
I
my
hear
kids.
dad's tones. I gotta go get my crate
I've
now.
I was like, who was it? They were trying to land life flight and they were calling for a landing zone. My kids are in the back. I was like, Daddy's just going to stop here. It's fine. I was like, just watch your tablets. And then they look over and a helicopter is landing. And they're like, what was that? I was like, it's fine. You're
Then they
fine."
think you can do it at any time you want.
I was,
Daddy, make it happen in the backyard.
Where's my helicopter?
we were coming back from camp one time. And I think it was Carl. Of course it was Carl. Carl and Gretchen. That's even worse.
Probably.
There was a motorcycle multi-vehicle accident, partial amputation, and I was still on medical leave. I just had hernia surgery, and we were coming back. My wife was driving, and I heard the call, and I was like, "We're driving right by it." She's like, "You can't stop. You're not doing anything." I was like, "But we're driving right by it. We'll see if they need help." She's like, "You're not doing this." And I start picking up the mic. She goes, "We're stopping, aren't we?" I was like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "I won't lift anything. They will." But she responded. She was a nurse. She responded, and she's like, the foot was partially attached, and I was trying to put it on the backboard, and it kept flopping off. She's like, well, what do you do with something like that? And then I just grabbed the leg and put it in between their legs, and I was like, there, problem solved.
We just get it to you, and then you take care of it.
Yep. Have fun.
It's definitely different when you're doing stuff like that with your significant other. I remember a call that we went on.
It's really
a code.
romantic when you literally make eye contact, and you're like,
I went
Here's
to
this partially amputated foot,
I went to a
honey.
Hold
code.
this for me.
I went to a code that we heard in another town that my wife worked in at the time, and
is this
We-
when she showed up with heels?
yes, it's the one
We're
you
doing compressions.
You were hitting on her the whole time.
I was doing compressions.
You're trying to give this victim medications, and all
Yeah.
you could think about was my wife's boots.
I looked over. No. What happened was, I looked. Somebody was doing CPR. No, you came. You were doing
Yeah,
CPR.
I switched out Danny.
I
started doing
I
compressions.
drilled the guy. We were pushing medications. I just heard Anita go, "What do you need?" I said, "Airway." So I'm doing stuff, and I looked over, and she's wearing heels.
We just came from
And I'm
a
just-
festival,
Yeah.
festivity,
And I'm just like, "What?
something
what is-"
special.
Like, you don't see that. We're in the dirt, like in the guy's driveway, and I looked over, and I was like, I was just taken back, and I was like, I just don't see somebody squatting down like this, doing airway, getting ready to intubate in heels. Like, I've never seen that.
To be
before.
fair, he would have had the same response if you were wearing heels. So.
That is the funny
Touche.
thing in public safety is that we go to this stuff and we've done it for so long. Us guys that have done it for a little bit, your mind treks in ways you don't even think of. Like I've been to a couple calls with John where he's made a couple of comments and I'm like, "That's what you took out of this?" Like in the middle of this, all this mayhem, that is what you. That's what we're coming back.
Are you-
with?
are you talking-
Did you see that or did you see this? I'm like, no, I was paying attention to the dead person on the floor.
That's like my
No.
like
it
dash
was-
cam. I first call, I get in, and I'll start talking to myself. If that audio ever got out, people would be like,
Are you
"What
talking
the
about
F?
the guy that
What is
snorted a
wrong
bunch
with
of
you?"
coke and then had a stroke?
Yes.
And you're just like,
Yes.
yeah. He goes in, he goes, "Oh, did you see this?" And I was like, "Did you see that?" And he goes, "That's what you were focusing on?" I was like, "Yeah, the neighbor came over and she looked like a person of ill repute." And he's like, "Why were you?" I was like, "He was having a stroke. I already knew he was fine."
I mean,
there was nothing I could do.
I will say there was other medical staff there. It wasn't just us. So I mean,
okay.
the patient was being taken care of.
That was not here.
But John did notice the neighbor
Disclaimer.
more than the patient.
Disclaimer.
Hey, everyone has a different perspective, right?
We know where John's is.
It's a stroke's a stroke. What was I gonna do? So, it's funny. It's like they're like the cops like he's overdosing, and Eric and I are outside. It's like, okay, we'll wait. Ryan's inside, and they asked us for the stair chair, right?
Yep.
So we're bringing the stair chair, and I look at him. I go, he's having a stroke. It's not an overdose. I was like, no, that's a.
Yeah, all right. So we beat up that mental health on both ends.
Yeah, really,
We
really
all know
did.
that's twisted.
All right,
What
I'm
are we
going
on to
I'm
the
going to
last-
go
what-
back to the family for a minute, though.
All right.
Yeah.
Good.
Only because I come from a different perspective. you guys have family members, your significant others that are in similar,
Career fields.
career
Fields.
fields. When I met my wife, we started going out. I had just left the fire service in Maryland. I went up to New York, where I grew up. Sorry, guys.
Oh, that's part of the problem.
Yeah, doesn't that explain everything?
That explains
Puts
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of those
Yeah.
puzzle pieces are together now.
But I went up, went back up there, met her. We started dating, and I was out of the fire service for a while doing that. Actually, then I decided to go back to college, and I'm doing my engineering degree. Yeah, see, I actually do have something. But
He
she
has
had never
another
known
job.
me in the early part of our life together in the emergency service. Then I went back into the fire department, and to me, everything just realigned. That's where I wanted to be anyway.
From my mother's perspective, who has said this multiple times, she never wanted to marry a firefighter.
She never wanted to
Ever.
marry an engineer either.
Surprise.
Joke's on you.
Right?
2 for 1.
So yeah, she had to learn. We're out on a date. Tones drop. Bye.
Yeah.
So she had a new perspective on that. She had to learn, and it was different for her. It was hard for a while. Then
Oh, no,
after
it still is. She still hates it.
Yeah, I
She
know.
hates that 3 of us are now running out, too.
Right. That's what it is.
Yeah, now her family. It's not I'm abandoning her. Now it's her whole family's
All right,
abandoning her.
guys, fine. I'll just stay here.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'll be in the kitchen making
Yo.
some more damn cookie bars.
that's hitting really close to home.
she finally understood the commitment when I'm living in Colorado and Broncos are in the Super Bowl, because that doesn't happen all that often. And the tones drop, and I leave. And she looks and she's like, "You're really leaving?" Yeah. She goes, "But the Super Bowl's on."
And it's the Broncos.
And I think literally that's when it's okay. Yeah, you left, Valentine's dinner on,
Christmas.
During
New
childbirth.
Year's. Right.
Sorry, honey. Here, hold this. I gotta go.
But yeah, it took her a long time to realize, oh crap, there's a lot to this. And she gets upset. You got to talk about it. Got to talk about it once in a while.
There is a balance, though,
Yeah.
especially in the volunteer service. Like, it took me a long time to realize that there are some points where you have to shut off your radio.
Yes.
And, God, it took me forever to realize that. But
And sometimes
trying
we'll
to
just
figure
leave the
it out.
area.
You just got to remember to turn it back on once in a while.
we'll get there. Once COVID goes away, I promise I'll turn it back on. But it's hard, especially when you do this as a living. When you the last couple of weeks, 1 week I worked 90-something hours. This week I worked 80-something hours. I don't want to go home and listen to tones.
No,
Right.
not
I
at
don't-
all.
not even a little. So they literally go in a corner. It's just you
That's
get burned out.
self-preservation.
Yeah.
That is okay.
I mean, if I worked 9 to 5 behind the desk, I could see keeping my radio on.
I wish I worked 9 to 5 behind the desk. I work 9 to 5 behind the desk, from 5 to 9
Under the desk.
on the street, wherever.
Little things.
On the street, huh?
Hey, we got to make ends meet.
But yeah, it is. It's balance.
But I mean, even
And then sometimes you have to learn to shut them off and spend time with the family before you start talking to
even
lawyers.
taking shifts, though, I mean, you get a call at the end of your shift, you got to go to call.
Yep.
So I think that's what I figured out is I've lost more money in tickets for concerts and stuff that I've missed than I've probably made in overtime or whatever you want to call it, overlap or
Sounds about right.
holdover or whatever. So don't ever plan on your shift ending when your shift ends, because it's just going to keep going.
Very valid.
Yeah.
But come sign up. It's a great job.
So back to question 1.
Right. Back to recruiting and retention.
Yeah.
I will say it was a big thing. I actually kind of had a relationship end over this when I wanted to get back into volunteering. I was in Colorado. It's really hard to volunteer in Colorado if you're on the Front Range. If you're up in the mountains, it's a little bit easier, but they wanted basically you've been doing this for 20 plus years and you have all these certifications and you have to commit to 7 years. And I was like, I don't want to live in Denver for 7 years. That's stupid. So I found a search and rescue team that they were tamping it down because of COVID, but you had to go through this whole big training module with them once a year. So I said, okay, well, I just need to do something. I'm going out of my mind. We're all housebound. Colorado was nuts anyway with COVID. So I was like, I just need to do something so I feel like I'm actually contributing back to the world. And they went, okay, you can do a bunch of, computer stuff. Can you do all these spreadsheets for us, blah, blah, blah. And I went, absolutely. And it drove my boyfriend nuts that I would get done with work, which I was already working remotely, and then I'd go immediately into doing this work. And he could not understand it because in his mind, everything was, well, once you're done with work, you go play.
Right.
This is how you live. You go skiing with
That-
something.
yeah.
You
No,
go ski.
no, he wanted to play while he was at work.
Correct. He wanted to get paid to go out and ski, which
Don't we all?
But
yes, we all do.
that's a good point though, because this career field is a unique career field where it's not
Very much so.
9 to 5. I was giving him crap, but it's really not 9 to 5. Like
Yeah.
even though he's in the office for 8 hours, he's still on. His phone's on. Like it is a lifestyle,
It is.
and that's a
Absolutely.
hard thing to accept for some people.
And that was a big
Yep.
thing is he could not understand, well, why, if you don't want to go on this 4-day river trip. And I went, because what if we have a call on for something? What if, there's this volunteer thing and they might need help. And they were saying, maybe we do, maybe we don't, but I want to be around for it. So you're going to give up a 4-day river trip to be around for this potential? Yeah, I'm going to, because I gave them my word that I was going to. So just very different concepts.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Then
the
it's-
opposite end of that. I mean, I'm sure you've heard it.
Ed's just like, look, I have Saturday from
If
9
I
to
am
8.
there, if I am in town and a call goes out, I will absolutely help you. If not, I'm not sticking around.
But we talked about
I've
this.
learned that now.
Right.
We talked about this a little bit earlier about how people trying to go up the ladder don't realize what up the ladder actually is. If you're a chief, I'm telling you right now, if you're even captains above,
Or a lieutenant.
it's
You're
a
done. You have to stay in town.
it's a 24-hour,
I'm a
7-day a week thing. Like you don't go off shift when you're an officer. You don't.
Oh no! I've
So
made
a
this
firefighter
argument-
is picking
I
up a
made
shift.
that
You can
perfectly
swap with
clear
somebody or
before I was
whatever you
put in
can.
that position that this is not going to change how much I stick in town. Like
Yeah. So for anybody that wants to have a life, don't become an officer.
right,
Don't become a chief.
Yeah.
or as I've said a million times, set your expectations. If they still put you in that position, knowing that your dedication level is when you're in town, great. But if you accept that position and their understanding is that you're going to stick around nights, weekends, whenever, vacations, then you need to match that. And that's just the conversation to have. Know what you want to commit as far as shutting your radio off. Yeah, if you've been there,
Yeah.
I was going to say that goes back to almost everything we touched on. That goes back to the family.
right.
Talk about your expectations. That's something we didn't do with my wife and I, and never did it with the kids. They
Yeah,
just
nope.
learned. Oh, that stupid thing on Dad's side goes off again. Dad's
Bye.
gone for the next 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
We're slowly getting it now. Don't worry.
Yeah, because
It's only
they're
taken
gone.
20-something years. It's fine.
So yeah, managing everyone's
It's fine.
expectations is
It's
really good on
Everything's
that.
fine.
It's from the moment you walk through the door to the moment you hit chief. Everything should be about communication. When you're on a fire scene versus when you're back at the station. At the station, chief and the officers need to let the firefighters know what they're responsible for. On a fire scene, everybody needs to know what they're responsible for. If you don't set those expectations and those responsibilities, then it's going to go to chaos. And good, bad, or indifferent, something
It
is
kinda
not going to go the way you want
I mean,
it
it
to.
goes all the way back to recruitment when we were first starting talking. I just got a stroke.
Words.
When we were talking about the fire department and how fire is really the smallest piece of all the stuff we do.
Yeah.
It's so yeah, we're the fire department, but we have ambulances, and that's pretty much what we're going to be doing.
Right.
So
But then kind of what you were saying as far as, well, when am I going to leave critical events to go help out? Structure fire goes out, you'll find people you haven't seen in 20 years.
Right.
Just came
Yes,
out of
that's
nowhere.
true. Boy,
Coming out of the woodwork.
Because
No doubt.
now not only are you doing your job and helping out, but in a way you're getting to do what you actually enjoy
Right.
doing. So you're kind of weighing your options. You know,
Right.
If I can,
I have left a date for a structure fire.
right, exactly.
Yeah, and that's understandable.
Yeah.
Every one
Structure
of us
fire
here
is more
understands
enjoyable.
that. We all get that.
Yeah,
We've all
Right.
done that.
Thankfully, that
we were
individual
pro-
also got it because they are in emergency response. Somebody else who would not have gotten that
Yeah,
How's
has
your current
also
boyfriend
happened in
doing?
Alaska. We don't need to
kick
talk
them
about
to the
that.
door. Yeah.
Yeah, it works out great if the date's not going well. It's
I tried.
I have definitely tried. I asked my
Set
EMS
it.
lieutenant
Oh, I
to
gotta
send
go.
out a fake, oh no, we need you one time when I
Yeah.
knew a date was going to be really
Yeah,
bad.
exactly.
She
I was
let
just
me
gonna
down.
say,
She didn't do
text
it.
a buddy, go, hey, in about 6 minutes, can you?
There's
can you
going to be
page
an
me?
MVC, and you're going to need everybody possible. Please tell me.
That's awesome.
I just want to know how her current boyfriend does with this.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Things we
do
don't need
tell.
to talk about. We're fine.
Things were.
This doesn't sound good.
And next topic we have is
That's just Dad fishing for more information.
The
Dad's
inevitable
been fishing
girl
for a
talk.
while.
The inevitable girl talk.
Well, now we have a whole panel. Let's hear about it. We'll
Yeah.
judge.
I got a lot out of that RIT training. We'll just say that.
Oh my God.
You're welcome.
I just killed half the table. This is
No,
great.
that's
Shit,
true
that's
because
amazing.
when I learned the handcuff knot, oh God, amazing. Right, Dalton?
I thought you were
saying,
going to
those-
say. I thought you were
those
going to say
window bails
escaping. Yeah, I was going to say escape out the window.
All right, and this is how we do a head first bailout.
I don't.
And go.
I don't think she was talking about the tactics. I think she was talking about the individuals we invited to come.
Oh, that's amazing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh,
but,
I know exactly what we're talking about.
I know you do.
I was picking
Okay,
I was exactly picking up what you were putting down.
I have never had more gossip spread about me than through my father's text messages than I have in my entire life.
Me?
It wasn't
Yes.
just through his text messages.
What have you been doing?
I was going to say, I'm the innocent person here.
You are.
So, okay.
He actually had nothing to do with it. I found out by the other
Let's talk
individual.
about something less uncomfortable. So, when is Freiburg going to merge departments?
Because that's less.
All right, I think we call it at this point.
Bye-bye.
We're approaching the
I
2-hour
think
mark.
so.
Yeah, do we shut it?
Jeez.
Yeah. Oh God.
Well, we only had one part
Oh,
left.
come on. We're not getting to
Oh,
girl
yeah.
talk?
All right.
We-
fine.
Very
we
deep
hit-
girl
I
talk.
say we hit girl talk.
Yeah.
But did we really hit all of it? Because I think we were just starting to get into it.
That might be.
I'm giving up on that. We're just going to slide past
I think that was a whole nother episode.
We'll have.
We got to
the,
bring Lexi back for that one.
woman's episode
Oh, we
part
should
2.
bring Lexi in.
Honestly, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So our New Year episode, we'll try to make it a girl episode.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bring in Lexi.
Females. I'll see if I can drag my wife in.
Yes. I want to
Right
meet
by
her.
the hair of her
I'll
head.
get Gretchen
We've been
in,
together
too.
long enough.
The angry Gretchen. So they'll be.
Angry Gretchen.
We just got to make sure that their cycles aren't all at the same time. I think
Oh Lord! All
things-
right,
Oh,
we're
dear
calling
God.
it. All
Okay.
right. Thank you for listening.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
New Year.
Happy
Merry
holidays.
Christmas.
Stay off the ice.
Don't do anything dumb.